One of the hardest things to do is to let go of control. We as humans, we need that. We need to know what is to happen. We need to know. We don't like to live in the uncertainty and the unknown. We don't like to not know what is going to happen. That's why we set our goals, we plan things, we organize things. We have something to get to. But the truth is, the learning lesson for a lot of us, most of us, is to let go of control. I thought when I was growing up, because of the way I grew up and in so much uncertainty, that the more I control my life, the better my life will be. And I can finally feel safe, and I can finally be financially stable, and I can finally take care of myself and take care of my family and feel good in that safety net and in that comfort. But the truth is, the more I was getting to it, the more I was really, my career was taking off. I was in finance for many years, and financially I was getting more and more stable, and my job was being more and more stable, and everything seemingly was better. The more I had this gut feeling and this feeling of this unsettling feeling that was not my sole purpose, and that's not what I am to do. And the more I was in it, the more I had that feeling. So the more it was like understanding that I need to let go of that totally wrecked me, because that meant that I need to let go of everything I worked so hard building on to be more safe and more stable and more comfortable in my life. And so today I want to talk about that, because even though you let go of that relationship that wasn't for you, that job that was your comfort and your safety net for many years that you let go of, the career that you let go of, there is still this constant push to keep yourself safe. And here's the thing though. You may have gone to the other extreme of letting everything kind of unravel on its own, which there is a problem with that too, because, and I'll give you my example again, the more I let go of everything, my career, my finances, everything, my job, and the more I started trusting in God and trusting in the divine, the more my life have become more fulfilled, and I found a new thing that I wanted to do, and I'm finally walking in my purpose. And I know that is true, and it doesn't matter anymore if I have enough money for the next month, for the next year, for the next 5 years. It doesn't matter if I am in this location, if I move locations. None of that matters anymore. The safety and the protection and the inner knowing that I will be okay comes from within. It comes from that inner knowing that I am safe in knowing that I'm protected by the divine, and that I will always be okay, and I will always have something to eat. I will always have a roof above my head, and that I will always be okay. And I still find myself pushing and pulling and trying to control different aspects of my life still, even if that is planning a trip, or just anything really that comes with with me knowing little aspects of whatever I do. And I'm releasing that more and more. But for you today, I want to talk about 3 things that really, as a collective, I feel like there is a lot of currently release going on, and the asking of the divine for us to release this notion of being in control or having to control your life. Because if it hasn't happened to you yet, it will happen. The more you control something, the less control you're going to have of it. The more you control something, the more things are going to start breaking, the more you're going to become like unfulfilled, not happy, not satisfied with whatever you're doing. The more things are just going to start breaking on its own. And even if something is working out for you, and let's say it starts working out for you, there is a point that it may completely break, because it's in part of a God's plan for you not to be walking on that path anymore. So the notion of control on its own is not real. You can only control so much of your life. There is always a point where that may shift. And for example, a bunch of people get laid off from work. Even though you were performing at your best, even though you were the most valued employee, at that point you were no longer needed. Perhaps the company was not doing well, perhaps there needed to be a restructuring, perhaps there was a completely different shift for the company to go into, and your job and your role became invalid and not needed anymore. So that's the negative part of it. But you don't know it's negative part for you, perhaps at that moment, because you don't understand the bigger picture. Only God knows the bigger picture, and perhaps the bigger picture for the company is to shift the focus into something more meaningful for humanity, and perhaps in the next 5 years it will help hundreds of thousands of people with its products or services. Okay? So to take a step back and to just understand that you can want certain things, you can have goals, you can wish to control certain things and aspects of your life, but at the end of the day, it is not in your control. You have free will though. So do not go into the other extreme of like letting everything go by God's plan, because you have to make decisions. You have to make certain decisions. Am I going to go on this path or this path or this path? And it's always your decision. There is free will. But within that free will, God's plan also unravels, and no matter what path you take, it is a part of God's plan, whether it works out or not, right? Because at the end of the day, everything is divinely orchestrated. You're just one piece of that entire puzzle of this entire world of 8 billion people, and you are one link. It's not about you alone. So it's important to know that we are to have our own goals and our wants and things and needs, but if something is not going your way, it may not be, and often it's not because you haven't done everything in your power to do something. It's because it's just not in God's plan for you to be doing that, and your sole purpose is not that. Your sole purpose will always align with God's plan. Now, there's another thing to let go of as well, is the notion to be right. When you talk about something and you get really super excited about the topic and you're holding on to your beliefs and the constructs of what that is to be, there's something there for you to be working on. Why are you getting all riled up about something that for someone else is just like, okay, yeah, let's do that? Or you're right. If you're very, very stuck on a belief and you're really, really holding on to it, it is because what's underneath is something to work on. A fear, guilt, shame, one of those. It's for you to work on. So today I wanted to talk about this because I feel like in a general collective consciousness, there is a huge push for starting to do things unconventionally and to be really, really open to letting go of things that no longer serve us. And what I'm also tapping into is what you feel as your present moment. And you living in the present, there is something that is holding you back from your past that you're not letting go of, and is why you are not moving forward. And perhaps your present is to become your past. And for you, you've been living in this kind of a same present with the same people and the same location and same everything for quite a while. And perhaps it's time to move on. But in order to move on, what I'm tapping into is that you are to go back to your roots. There is something in your past that you are to fully release, that you're still holding on to, and is why you're kind of stuck in your present and you cannot move forward. So your past is to completely be fully released, and your present is to become your new past, if that makes sense, so that you can move forward. There's a lot of letting go of that needs to happen. So just because you left your career, you left your old relationship, you left your old job, it doesn't mean that you fully let go. If you're still in the same construct and the belief systems, they're keeping you doing the same things in the new job, in the new relationship, and in your new life, so to say. If you're holding on to the same belief systems, you haven't really made the shift. That's why I'm talking to you about this, because these current energies are of such that you meditate and you really tap into the part of you that is holding on to something from your past that is keeping you from moving forward, and it's related to letting go of control. And why is that? Why are you still holding on to it? Thank you, Mala. We'll talk soon.